Where should your money go in times of war? While countries go to war, the market is turning towards precious metals. The last year, we saw gold and silver prices rose like never before. And in the last few years of my trading and investing journey, I have learned one thing that every 2 to 3 year we see a mega trend which has the potential to accumulate us a big fortune. But most of the retail players, investors, or traders, they never experience that. They only enter when it's too late, when the trend is almost over, and they uh, usually invest or trade at the time when the prices are very high in that theme, which is beneficial for the institutional players because that is when they can exit, and that is the period when those themes are marketed a lot. So basically, for example, today we have data centers की बात आज थोड़ा नेगेटिव वे में हो रही है. There is a lot of negative sentiment around that. So the retail players will not enter because they think it's too risky. But if you do a bit of research, if you see where the society is transitioning to, you will realize that it is the best time to invest money in data centers when the big institutional players are also investing. But most retail players will enter the data center space only after a few years when it will be hyped, it will be advertised everywhere, when there will be ETFs for data centers, when there will be mutual funds for data centers. And that will the time when retail players will enter and the institutional players will exit. That is why retail players lose a lot of money in the stock market. This is the only reason. Now, in 2026, we are looking at war, financial uncertainty, political instability. And the US is punishing every country with tariff wars. And now, the real military wars also. It took over Venezuela, then attacked Iran, took out their supreme leader, which is a sad news for the market, for the world, because we need a peaceful world anyway. And this last year, which started with trade wars, it ended with a large scale world war. Now, what should we do in times of that? As investors, we need to cut out the noise. The news is to distract the masses, and if we are distracted, we cannot really make money. That's my dog barking. Please ignore that. And our focus should be simple: to track where the big money is flowing, where the $1 trillion of money from the political leaders, from the big corporations is flowing. If we can track that, you will find your opportunity, your big opportunity, your big mega trend where you can just put your money. And in 2026, I see just three major sectors: mining stocks, defense stocks, and data centers. That's all. Nothing outside of that. But obviously, in Indian dynamics, these are basically because innovative technologies and everything, they lie outside of India, China, or US, or some other countries. But India mein innovation is slow, so we cannot find such stocks, such companies which are engaged in uh, themes like data center. Data centers में फिर भी इंडिया में कुछ काम शुरू हो गया. For example, Adani Enterprise is putting around $10 billion till 2035 in the data center. Then Bharti Airtel also and Reliance also. But वो थोड़ा उनका कम काम है, but essential जो काम है बाहर की कंपनीज काम कर रही हैं उसमें. So mining stocks पे मैं क्यों फोकस कर रहा हूँ? What's my thesis rationale behind the mining stocks? Think about the last year. There was a massive rally on gold, silver, and other metals. So, ask yourself what happens to the balance sheet of those companies whose product demand doubles in a very short period. Also, if gold and silver prices doubled because everyone from scared retail investors to entire nations rushed into buying precious metals to protect themselves from uncertain future, what would that due to the companies which are mining those metals. Just think about that. So, if you think it like that, you will realize that those companies are going to benefit a lot. And there's a very interesting fact about these mining companies. There are approximately 15,000 mining companies around the world, which covers around 47 primary commodities. Out of these, only 40 companies are major corporations around the world, based mostly in Europe, US, and Canada. जो सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग बात इसमें ये है दैट दीज कंपनीज ओन दैट लैंड वेयर दे माइन. ठीक है. They acquired these gold and silver reserves years ago at a very lower prices, because अगर उन्होंने लैंड 2010 में खरीदा, जस्ट इमेजिन वो गोल्ड और सिल्वर के रिसोर्सेज उनके पास हैं. दे जस्ट नीड टू सेल इट. उसको प्रोड्यूस करना है, उसको फिल्टर करना है, उसको प्रोसेस करना है. दे जस्ट नीड टू सेल इट. अब आज के प्राइजेस में, इवन इफ यू टेक 2020 एज द बेस ईयर, इवन देन ये 300% उनके प्राइजेस हो जाते हैं. 300, बेसिकली 3 टाइम्स उनको बेनिफिट होता है, प्रॉफिट मार्जिन हो जाते हैं. अगर हम 2020 ही बेस मार्जिन लेते हैं, बेसिकली अगर उन्होंने 2020 के प्राइजेस में ही लैंड लिया होता, वो रिसोर्सेज एक्वायर किए होते, बट दे bought it way before that. So imagine the price, profit margins they will carry. And with my research, I can tell you that those prices have not reflect in their stock prices. अभी तक कुछ reflection नहीं हुई है in the stock prices, and we have that opportunity to capture that. That's why I'm very bullish on the mining stocks.